Deep in the Argentinian Andes lies a river that spans all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. A river we plan to pack raft over the next 7 days. In the early 2000s, this river was propositioned to be dammed. While the mega dam would contribute significantly to Argentina's power grid, the fallout for those that rely on this river would be catastrophic. Not only would it flood the valley, affecting ecosystems and displacing hundreds of people that live here, it would affect every person, every farm, and every community that lives along this river, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. We are here to see it for ourselves. As far as we know, this has never been done before. Tons of planning and a pre-scout has already been done by our expedition leader prior to the group's arrival. However, pioneering new adventures comes with its hurdles, misadventures, and some unforgettable moments. It may not be the trip we planned, but it is the trip we made it. After a big day of driving, we finally got to see what we came here for: the river. The wind was so strong, but the river was even stronger. Too much so, in fact. The water levels were too high to raft safely, which posed a bit of a problem since we were here to raft after all. Our expedition leader had done an extended scout of the river before our arrival, and while the river levels were high then, we had hoped over the few weeks they would eventually diminish. That was not the case. We didn't come all this way for nothing. So we continued upriver to see where this adventure would take us. Trying to do the right thing, move out of the way for this big livestock truck that was coming, and we just pulled just enough to the side where there's just enough sand to get us stuck. So we realized we're just kind of making it worse and just digging a hole. So we're just gonna wait till the other vehicle realizes that we are stuck and comes to maybe save us. Yeah. That's what it is. Howdy. Stop? Yep. Stop. Hey! Success! Pioneering new adventures means misadventures. They are one. If it has never been done before, there's only so much that can be planned. The rest we would have to figure out along the way. That is why we are doing this now, after all. Little did we know, this misadventure was going to become the theme of the entire trip.
Chloe's strength made all the difference.
It did. It was all
I was telling her in the car.
The conditions of the river maintained the same along the canyon. High. Thus, we opted for a different adventure. We decided to go on foot up canyon on an overnight scout. Oh no! We made our way into the canyon as intended, further and further upriver. Eventually, we reached parts of the trail that were washed out, leaving us the only option to scramble across. So past this point is the literal unknown. In the pre-week scout that was done prior to us coming here, this was as far as they went. So this is true unknown now. True unknown territory. We have no idea what's around that next bend, but it's going to be exciting. While it was not technical, each washout became increasingly more difficult to cross. We have no idea what we're going to find next. Literally just going to take it obstacle by obstacle.
It's now 7 p.m. It's been a big day. Lots has happened. There was big debate on whether we continue past the obstacles or we cross the obstacles or find a way to cross the obstacles. We obviously crossed the obstacles. but it wasn't without. We spent some time there trying to figure it out, let's just say, but we ended up finding, yes, a safe way across, and we found a nice little campsite in some like grassy, marshy area, and now it's raining. We already had dinner and we've all retired to our tents because no one likes to be wet. Also, you may have noticed that the sound is different. Wind muff. Because it's that windy out here. I half expected it to happen. I was just not really hoping it would happen on day one. Maybe somewhere stuck on the trail. It's probably gone. I'm gonna go to sleep or lie here or do something because that's all we have to do until morning.
The next morning we were awoken early. The weather was taking a turn for the worst, and we needed to leave the canyon as soon as possible.
It's the same. I just don't know out. Weather's getting worse. My tech flap started coming down, so we gotta go.
It was a silent walkout, and the rain began by the time we reached the trucks. However, we were already soaked. We drove and drove and drove until we were clear of the storm, where we stopped for a much-needed breakfast.
You know, some days, you just have to make roadside quesadillas. What's needed.
As a group, we decided to drive the long way out of the canyon and stay at an Airbnb for the night, giving us a full reset. While yesterday's adventure was cut short due to the storm, it was a small blessing in disguise. The cold weather up canyon slowed the snow melt, reducing the river flow, making it a perfect day to get on the river.
Let's try this again. How you do? You do good? Yeah. Could be dangerous.
This particular section of the river is quite memorable. 2 reasons. 1, because the undercurrent was so strong and I was absolutely fighting for my life. And 2, because this is where the mega dam had been proposed to be built. Imagine, if that dam was built, everything we have seen so far up until now would be gone. It's truly incredible how fast a river can move and how far you can get in a day. For reference, last year's expedition, there happened to be too little water in the river. Over the 7 days that we walked/rafted, we totaled 86 kilometers. Now, today, in just 4 hours, we rafted 80. Think about that for a second. That evening, we camped on one of the farms in the canyon.
So my least favorite part of every day is having to put on the dusty, stinky clothes from yesterday. Oh, laundry is gonna be such a luxury.
The next day, our host was kind enough to open his doors and show us into his life. Meet Jacinto and Ana. They are a local couple here in the valley. Jacinto showed us around the farm and how life looks as an Argentinian cowboy.
It's all the babies! Oh my god, it's all the babies!
We learned that goats are their main source of income.
People come and buy them here.
Oh, so they sell them.
Or they can drive them into town and sell them. I always keep track of which baby goat belongs to which mother. He said about $40 per goat. Because if you get them mixed up, the mother won't accept it. So I was asking him, why do people buy goats? He said, for the meat.
Are you just as curious as we are?
And they'll come and kill the goats.
He said in one evening, one puma could take out like 20 goats.
Whoa!
Porque está protegido el puma y el zorro está muy protegido. Si a uno lo encuentran con un puma que mata, multa o capaz que va preso.
Yeah. So he says that the pumas are protected by law. ¿Con esa masa van a hacer pan o pan casero? Sí, calor. So she's gonna bake, they call it homemade bread.
Getting to experience how the locals in remote places live is always so fascinating, and humbling, if I may add. Different ways of life and what kind of life people choose that brings them peace and joy is such a pleasure to experience, even if it is for a few hours.
The hardest thing for them is the vegetables. They only last about a week. And she can't grow vegetables because it's too cold and too windy here.
Caballito así. Vino una helada, no quedó nada, ni la planta quedó.
So she's saying that she was growing a vegetable. I don't know what vegetable she's talking about. But overnight it frosted over and killed everything.
Jacinto says this property has been in his family for 120 years. His great-grandpa bought this place in 1904, and each generation since has called this place home. During our time here, Jacinto mentioned he has no intention of ever leaving. He is happy here, which made me think about the mega dam project. Jacinto and Ana are two of many people that would be affected by it being built. They would literally lose everything.
Hi to the camera. Say, I'm a farm dog.
Jacinto had to get back to farm duties, and we were off on our next micro-adventure. The river was back to high water levels, which meant no rafting. That's okay. We decided to explore down a different road, deep in the canyon, where there was a river cable crossing to what looked like, on the map, an incredible spot. Or at least, that was the plan. Yeah, we aren't proud of this. No matter what we did, the truck kept getting stuck. Our expedition leader took the 4x4 truck in search of extra help, and in the meantime...
You want an Oreo?
About an hour later, he returned with some local cowboys and a truck bed full of useful things to hopefully get us unstuck.
We're saved! Maybe. This could go bad. So they tried reversing this one back and like leapfrogging the boards out, but it just it kept getting more stuck and stuck. So now we're gonna try tie the trucks up and have the 4x4 slowly pull the four-wheel drive truck out, and hopefully that does something without ruining the truck. So now they're gonna take it nice and easy. And now the road literally just snapped. Not out of it yet. God. My heart's racing, and then here comes a big windstorm. Oh my gosh. Oh my God! Oh, mother! Holy Jesus! Holy Jesus! Just a classic misadventure, you know?
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Worst part is it doesn't feel that rewarding. If anything, it just feels like, oh, how silly could we be? Is this right? Yes, we can. Sploosh, sploosh.
As evening approached, we finally made it to the river cable crossing. We would have to act fast to get across before sunset. However, none of us had ever done this before, so it took a minute to figure it out.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
You'll get in first, then you're yeah.
First one.
All was going well until the cable car had come off the track.
Honestly, you can't make this shit up.
On the return trip, the cable car had too much momentum off the get-go. When the brake was applied, the entire cart bounced, and literally bounced right off the tracks.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Down the river was another very sketchy cable crossing, but without a cart. Julio, one of the assistant guides, in his flip-flops, braved his way across to help. They tried so many things, but it wouldn't budge. Eventually, they had to resort to brute force and drag the cart across the cable, getting it close enough where we could all lift and fit it back onto the track.
This is where we would have camped, but no more funny business, no more risking it. Let's pray we get across safely. It hasn't been lost on me that like I have the ability to like book a flight, get on a plane, get in a car and drive down the back roads of Argentina and end up in a place like this. I am so incredibly fortunate and so incredibly grateful to literally get to just decide that I want to do this, you know?
I'm just grateful for the fact that this is even possible, to even be here, to experience and witness this beauty. With the dam built, all this would be lost. How lucky we are to see it before it's potentially gone.